So we are live, we are live, we are live. Hello, everyone.
Hi, can you see
Hi,
me?
hi.
Yes,
Hi.
I can. Hello.
Yes,
I
I'm
can
here.
hear you.
Oh, okay. So we are live and we are in the show. How did you transition to tech? So I've got here with me my delectable data diva, Tricia. Tricia is my co-host, and I've got with me Susan Obasi and Bernard. I'm not sure how to pronounce your surname, Bernard, so please forgive me. And yeah, they are two people who have transitioned to tech, and they are here to tell their stories, how they were able to do it, how they actually were able to transition to tech from a non-tech background. So I'm going to allow everyone to actually introduce themselves. I'll be starting with you, Bernard. You can introduce yourself. Let us know who you are and where you're from and how you've actually been able to transition. So yeah, Bernard.
All right, just to clarify, is this the point where I'm supposed to go into details or just the introduction of myself?
Oh, yo, just the introduction. Yes.
All right then. My name is Bernard Moneme. That's how to pronounce the surname. Part of it.
Okay.
I'm a healthcare data analyst and also a researcher. And also I work as a training provider with Grand Galaxy. So that's my introduction.
Okay. And Susan, over to you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Susan Obasi. I'm a senior test analyst with one of the universities in the UK. So I'm there as the test lead, and also let me say I'm a loner there.
Okay, brilliant.
Yeah.
And I'll allow Tricia to introduce herself real quick.
The one
Yeah.
and only.
Yes,
Okay,
the
I'm
one and
Trisha Oji.
only. Yes.
I'm Trisha
So
Oji,
yeah, welcome
currently a
everyone.
data
Welcome Bernard.
analyst.
Oh, yes, our data analyst. Yes, data analyst. I'm pulling you to transition to tech because I know you're the best at what you do. So yeah, welcome Tricia. Welcome Susan. Welcome Bernard, and welcome to all our audience. I can see a lot of people here. I can see Dennis, Benga, Chidima, Chisom, Mabel, Adiola, everyone. Welcome, 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 welcome to this um podcast. Thank you for taking out your evening to be able to join us. I'm sure everyone here is excited to hear your stories, hear Bernard and Susan's story, and I'm sure they are not going to let everyone down. So, welcome, Evelyn. Welcome, Timmy Talkbear. Welcome, everyone. We are glad to have you here. We are glad that you made out time for us this Friday evening. And if you could just type in the comment section for me real quick, where are you joining us from? So I'm here in the United Kingdom, London to be precise. It is 6:03 p.m. right now. Where are you joining us from? Can I see that in the comment section, everyone? Let us know where you're joining us from. Okay, thank you, Olusegun. Thank you, Meg. Thank you, Dennis. Can I see where you're joining us from? Okay, no one is typing that down. I'll read that later as we go on. So we have not a lot of time to waste. Okay. Fumi says she's joining us from the UK. Meg is joining us from the UK. Georgina from Nigeria. Dennis from
I'm sure
the
that Meg is my
USA.
Meg.
And we have one from Kenya. Yeah, yay. We have
Oh,
someone from Lithuania. Wow. So we
wow.
have people from everywhere. So, Bernard, the stage is yours right now. Tell us, how did you transition to tech? How were you able to make this journey? We're listening.
All right, so I guess it's story time. Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
as I said earlier, a brief introduction for those who are just meeting me for the first time. My
Mm.
name is Bernard Moneme. I'm a healthcare data analyst and also a researcher. So, my transition story into tech started all in 2020, just to be precise and specific. 2020 was also the year where I started my master's degree in public health. So, just for background sake, I studied microbiology for my BSc, and then I had to move to study public health for my master's degree. This was in 2020. And then you can see I was majorly supposed to focus in health, more of health. But what I was also doing here before moving into tech, that's the tech we'll be talking about tonight, which is my major aspect, which is data analysis. What I was doing at this point in my life was more of crypto trading and digital marketing. So I was just learning digital skills here and there. And then, just trying to do one or two things. This 2020 was also the COVID year. So I started working remotely from 2020 till now and everything. So what really happened when I think back about my story in hindsight, three major touch points, three major things happened in my life that I would say, okay, this happened, that happened, and this happened, that made me decide to, all right, data analysis is where I want to be. And this is exactly what I would like to do, at least for the next couple of years of my life until maybe transitioning into more of a managerial and other things. So the three things that happened, the first thing that happened for me is the fact that, okay, first of all, we're taking a course during my master's in public health. We're taking a course called biostatistics. And as we're taking this course, I came across a concept. This concept is linear regression. And it really blew my mind because when it was being explained at that point in class, I realized that, okay, you can actually use past data to predict the future. And that concept was just interesting to me, really. I was like, wow, you can actually, data is that important that knowing something about past
Yeah, that's
and
right.
then predict the future and everything. I was like, okay, this is really interesting. And now, thinking about it now, it didn't really make sense to me what I was doing then with crypto trading because there's also something called technical analysis. But the analysis part did not come to me. What is done in technical analysis majorly is that we use more of indicators. So when you do indicators and then you see things like RSI, moving average, this and that, and then you just like try to know when to buy low and also sell high so you can make profit and every other thing. So, but it didn't really make sense to me that this was data analysis because it wasn't called that. So that was the first touch point. And then the concept was interesting to me. The second thing that I would say was really the major thing that happened, and I can't forget it ever, was when it's an embarrassing story, yes, to me. It was when I really embarrassed myself. And I cannot believe that this happened truly. Okay, it was our still during my master's degree. Yeah, we're supposed to have an internship, like a practicum. It's called practicum. It's like an IT. So I was attached to work with Institute of Human Virology in Nigeria. That's in Abuja. For those familiar with Abuja, it's around that EFCC axis.
Okay.
So yes, I was as a public health person, I was made to move to the research department, and then we said, okay. So at this point, we were working more on COVID-19 data. We're working on a dashboard review. So we're just collecting data from here, there, and then, even from people in the field and the rest. But I wasn't meant to, do anything. I was there to learn and see how it's done. And then, even data entry, I'm good at that and every other thing. So the embarrassing part happened when my supervisor at this point, a lady, she was working on a data set on her Excel spreadsheet. And then she was like, okay, Bernard, why don't you just, I guess you can continue this for me and then just help me with this. And immediately she said that, I just froze because I was wondering in my head, why can't she just do simple things like PowerPoint or Microsoft Word? Yes, I had come across Excel, but coming across Excel, the only thing I knew in Excel was how to enter data into it. I didn't know all those creating too many analyses, doing all those too many things. As a sharp guy, I had to come up with the fastest excuse in my head. I was like, "Don't worry, ma, you're doing a very good job. Just continue with your work and everything." But
Yeah.
I knew I had embarrassed my family. I'd embarrassed myself because there were colleagues there, junior colleagues, everybody was there. But I knew if I started doing that there, I won't finish. There's no point starting what you can't finish. So I told myself from that day that it's not possible and this can never happen that I'll be given a tool as simple as Excel and I would not be able to handle those kind of tasks. So from there, I buried myself into over 6 hours of content. First of all, I started from YouTube just to watch and learn everything I could about Excel. And from then to date, I can tell you I've digested over 50 hours plus 50 hours worth of content on Excel just to get it there and then, so it can never happen again. So in this first phase of my life, what I was doing was majorly jumping from tool to tool. I had not really taken a specific course that contains data analysis as a whole or data analytics as a whole. And then, yeah, this happened. So I started jumping from tool here and there. But the final thing that happened for me was when I was rounding off as well my master's. And at this point, we are done collecting our data from the field analysis. Our supervisor at this point to advise that, well, you can even give your job to a statistician to help you with analysis or an analyst and all these other things. I didn't really take this as a job or something that it can be done. So I was speaking to a colleague of mine and he was like, he's actually analyzing his data set himself. And he just stuck to me. I was like, wow, if this guy can actually do this analysis himself, then maybe it's not as complicated.
Doesn't have two heads.
Yeah, nobody has two heads. He doesn't have two heads, obviously. I was like, okay, this can be done. And then I told myself, all right, I'll definitely move into this. And so I was jumping from tool to tool. And then the major platform I was using then, I would not really advise people to use it because it doesn't really have a packaged course, but I was not ready to take it seriously. First of all, aside YouTube, I was using this Simply Learn. So I learned introduction to Python, data analytics, just minor things here and there, just gathering 1 or 2 certificates. But I would also confess that the first time I came across SQL, I had to run away because at this point I was using one old
I'm sure every data analyst will say
outdated stuff.
I was using one old MacBook, and then the video I was watching on SQL, I guess it was too recent for my installation. I jumped from YouTube, jumped to ChatGPT, jump everywhere just to get this thing working in the right way. And it was giving me headache. I just closed it and I left it. My brother at this point, we're talking about data analysis, and he was like,
we will come back to you, Bernard. Just give us a few seconds. Let's go over to Susan, because right now I know that you are going to just take your story is very, very interesting, and I'm sure my audience, in fact, they are able to say don't run away. But yeah, let's just move over to Susan quick. So Susan, can we hear your journey? I know Susan's journey personally. So Susan, if you remove anything, if you
add, please remind me. Yeah.
Yes, I can imagine. So Susan, please tell us your story right from the very beginning up until the point where you are right now. Have the floor, Susan.
Hello everyone. Thank you, Judy, and co-host for Juliet. Is it Juliet for giving me this opportunity to be let my story inspire someone out there, because it's very, very inspiring if you can listen to me, because it all started when I was in Nigeria, and I finished my degree. I also did my master's in Nigeria too, in Federal University of Technology over. So when I finished, I was actually looking for a job everywhere. I got one in banking, which is marketing, of course. I said, no, I don't want to go into marketing. I don't have the strength for that to keep convincing someone to come and open an account or giving me target. I don't want that kind of pressure. So that's where the problem started, or my dilemma started. So I was now, because I refused that job since then, none came around again. I kept going for interviews or even applying, even had to know Nigeria. You even have to pay someone to get a federal job. And at the end of the day, nothing worked. Everything was just blank. I looked at myself. I said, oh God, year 1 has gone, 2 years, 3 years, nothing, keep going up and down. I said, oh, I would have taken that marketing job to maybe get myself busy with something. So although we run a family business that I use as my part-time stuff, at some point I didn't see myself doing that thing for a very long time, the family business, because I know where I'm looking at. So I just wake up one day, I said, oh no, I'm gonna go and further my master's again in the UK. So the process started. There was no, let me say, the financial barrier was really there. And I didn't even have any, because even if you don't have a job, how are you going to finance your education in UK because it's very, very expensive. If you know, putting the money in the deposits, paying the part payments, even coming here alone. Oh, that was a struggle, but I didn't know how I got myself here. So after that, I have to source the money for the deposits. First of all, just source the money for even the deposit. Then the one you have to fix it to the account was where the actual issue was. That was when discouragement come. Even before then, sorry, I missed something. I was applying for Canada. I applied for first one, didn't work. Second one didn't work. So I have to, I'm going to go into a little bit spiritual here, but I have to ask God, where do you actually want me to be? Because when you're doing something, let me be honest with you, when you're doing something and it's not working out, I think you might have to stop and ask yourself, where am I actually heading to? Where is the way forward? Because it's frustrating when you're trying to find your way around something and it's not working out. So as God may will, he said, oh, Susan, you have to go to UK. I said, UK, I don't like UK for anything, to be quite honest, because I've heard so many stories about UK. It's hard, it's this, tax, this, and most especially I have some family members here who can't even support you with, even when you call them, they don't even support you. It's not even encouraging to even come to UK because they won't even answer you. I'm just telling you a last story. So that's really discouraged me from coming to UK because nobody wants to even spare you the time. No, everybody's busy here. So I said, okay, since you wanted me to come here, that means you have to make a way for me here around it. So as God may have it, someone came, fixed the money, said the person did the money, fit the money into the account. Today she can't even explain how she did that. So, and after 1 month, she collected her money back, and that was where the journey started. I applied for my visa and my admission because I've already gotten my admission. I applied within 1 week or so, 2 days, they will give you admission. I applied and I came here. Nobody welcomed me at the airport, only me alone. I didn't even know where I was going to because my sister was like, Susan, where did you say you're going to? Don't Nigeria, don't say, where you say they go, Seth? Where are you going? Who do you know there? Who are you going to meet there? Do you know I flew from Nigeria to Scotland, where I was? Nobody welcomed me at the airport. I was like an orphan. Nobody. I didn't know anybody. I just went there. I asked someone, please, where can I book a taxi? I need to go so place because there's a school accommodation there that someone told it's online. You can get information online. But I can remember the girl, although it's good to be friendly and to people. I met a lady at the embassy. She was the one that I saw. She wasn't friendly, but I just had to make her friend so that luckily she was going to the same school I was about to apply the same because we were having an interview that day. So when we finished and I researched a lot about the school. I was sleeping on the internet and researched everything. So the questions I even asked her before she went in for her interview was exactly the question they asked her. The interviewer asked her. So when she came out, she now said, oh, you are an angel to me. Well, how did you know this question? I said, oh, I just feel like I should ask you the question. So from there, she picked my number. So, we applied on the same day. She applied for a priority one,
Susan,
super priority.
Not to cut you short, Susan.
Yeah.
But can we just go to the point where you decided, okay.
Yeah.
Where were you before you that joined and got into tech?
Okay, yeah, I was when I finished my master's. So, although when I was doing my master's, I was working as a healthcare assistant. I was schooling at the same time.
For my audience, that healthcare assistant is a big word. She was working as a carer. So let's continue from
there. Okay. And the carer I was doing was not even the one maybe you go inside and say I didn't drive. I only have to go door to door, step or door to people's houses to take care of them. I have to jump buses under the snow, under the rain. I was doing this. When I come back, I would just ask myself, Susan, what are you going to do for how long? And luckily, I was staying with my brother then. He was like, you have to advise yourself whether it's something you're going to do for a long time. I said, what will I start? So I was doing, when I finished my master's, I'm just cutting the story, it's a long story. So I was still working as a healthcare assistant, but I can't even mention to someone that I have a master's. I can't even say it because it's very, very, how can you have a master and you're doing that kind of job? That's why I don't tell people what my level of education or anything, but I carry on doing that. So, and I met Judy in one of the instances. She was like,
Is it our Judy?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and I met Judy. She now said, "Oh, Susan." She was also one of us anyway. Before
I was a
then,
carer too.
yeah. We initially met at one point, but after we didn't meet again. So after some time, we now have to, and I met another lady that said to me, because I left the door-to-door one that was very depressing and time consuming, and even the worst one. And I went to start a living carer, living with someone I lived with the woman for 6 months without going out, anything, no social life, nothing. I was just in this woman's house. That's where the main tech journey started. So when I was living with the lady, a colleague, a carer also came and met me there because we had to do the job, take care of her together. She now said, Susan, what are you doing here? You have your master's, you attended your school here. So what are you doing here? I said, she now said, why not try tech? Why not try this thing? It's paid. I said, the excuse I gave her, my visa status, she said, what's your visa status? I told her, she said, oh, come on, you can make it. I said, okay. She now said that during one training, this and that I should try and register and join the training. Out of curiosity, I joined the training. So when I joined the training, she introduced me to that training. She left. As in, she wasn't communicating with me again. She told me if I call her to at least let her guide me on how they are doing it, because if you don't know, you don't know what you don't know. So she now connected me to Judy. Why Judy has already started the tech. So Judy was coming to do the upgrade of the training, like the automation one, part of the testing. So I now connected to Judy. Judy was now the one we started together. We now came back together, started talking and all that. So she now, when we finished the training, after 3 months thereabouts, we finished the training. So I was like, where do I even start? One, my visa status is discouraging me from applying for jobs, because once they call, they will ask you, what kind of visa do you have? This. I said, oh, because I have a graduate visa then. So she was now like, oh, let me keep applying. So Judy keep encouraging me, even the ones I don't know. She will even use her hand to even do the stuff for me, even the assignment during the training. She even hold my hand and say, Susan, it's not that way. Do it this way. No, I'm not. She's the one. She will tell you, because she will hold my hands. She's not the type of person that will tell you, oh, just go and do it. It's not how to do. No. She will hold your hand like a baby. You know how when you are teaching a baby to how to draw something or how to start writing. That's how she held my hand. She was now said, Susan, no, even if I don't even know how to operate Excel, I don't even know, because when you're doing the Excel, I know it's just few things I can do there. She now said, no, Susan, you can do it. I said, okay. She kept encouraging me. She asked me to write the ISTQB exam. She helped me, prepped me for it. I wrote the exam, one touch, I passed. She now said, oh, that's good. That means you are getting there. There is hope.
Susan, so I understand.
Yeah? I'm going to
we're looking at time because I know this story at like the back of my hand. So I want to just guide Susan to the point where she got her first job. So Susan, tell us how, in fact, before
No. I think Judy, with the way she said you've been guiding her hands, I think at this point you need to tell us a bit of it, because I think Susan is struggling with some of the stories, right?
No, she's not struggling with a bit of the stories. If she wants to say the story, we're going to be here because the story is really long. I was part of the story, like Susan has rightly said. But I want Susan to tell us the juicy part of when she got her first job. How she like
Okay.
it was a Christmas Eve, no, New Year's Eve, right?
Yeah. On a
Okay, so
Christmas,
Susan,
yes.
take it up from there.
I got my first, because before the interview, what I do is that I go to Judy. She'll prep me with the project she has done in her workplace. She will tell me what to say during my interview. She will tell me, do it this way, say it this way, look at what you have to say. Because I'm even a novice, I don't even know how things works in that tech or thing. Somebody working, coming from the background of where I'm coming from, like a carer going into tech, is a very huge gap. So during that period, someone told me, just in my phrase, said, "Oh, Susan, just forget about this job you're looking for. You are not a British citizen. Forget it." Someone else now said, "Susan, you don't even have a British accent. You need to get a British accent before you get into this job. All this."
You have to be saying
Yeah. Those kind of words can be discouraging when I was doing that. So she was telling me that. So two people in my front, they would tell me, "Forget about this for British citizen. You don't even have this thing to how are you going to get the job?" Even one was inside my family there that said, "Forget it. You're not a British." I said, "Okay." The surprising thing is that I kept applying, and I got a slot. My first interview, I landed a job. My first interview, with the help of Judy's help, I landed a job, not even a small job, a kind of a medium high level job. Wow. I landed a job in London City here, Holborn Street. So when I landed that job, it wasn't that funny because of the background. You struggle a little bit to fit into the system because of where you're coming from and the background. So after some time, I wasn't getting, because it was a contract, I wasn't getting along, but the lady there wasn't even trying to give me like a chance to let her settle in and know in and out. It wasn't that. It's what with what I know now, with what she was asking me, all those, it wasn't that. It's nothing. So after some time, I lost that job. That was when the main problem started. So when I lost the job, I couldn't stand. I told myself, Susan, whether you lost the job or you're going to do what I'm doing, I must work in tech. That's what I told myself.
Yeah.
I must work in tech. Whether I don't care. So as I've tested
so before you even continue again, Susan, I'm going to interrupt you here. So do you remember the first time when you said, when on a Saturday, because as carers you work shift, so you can work Saturdays and Sundays. And Susan had started her job as a software tester, right? And Susan was like, "Judy, so you mean say Saturday like this, I go just sit down for house. I know they go up and down, do my care work." And that was just the moment. And so when you lost your first job, you said to yourself that this tech, I must work in it because tech work is sweet. It is very, very sweet.
To be quite honest, it's sweet
because you have your time, right? You have your time, and then you get to share. As much as you get to work and then report to someone, you can decide to say, okay, especially if you're doing remote, you get to say, okay, I can say I want to work all night today, and then so that tomorrow, for the better part of tomorrow, I get to run around and do all of that. So I can imagine.
So I kept, that's where the mental, because another thing was my visa, my status here, because I need to get a sponsorship job, not even about the job anymore. I need to, because this sponsorship was like, oh, this, that, care sponsorship was in my front, like 10 of them. I said, no, how can I go back to Egypt? No. I can't go back to Egypt. Like no. Because care work is like Egypt, because you're just like a slave. Not, I'm going to say that it's not a good job, but it's a good, I've tested it, and I say anybody can start from there. You need to start somewhere. But you tell yourself, I'm not going to end here. So I said, no, I've tested that Canaan land. I've tested that place, that milk and food. I've tested it, and nobody will stop me from continuing eating that. So I said I'm not going back to care, because 2 months, 3 months, I didn't get any job. But someone else said, what are you wasting your time looking for tech? Why not go back to what you're doing? I said, God forbid. I must enter into this tech. So I started.
I would even say I
each
actually
week.
advised, to be honest, I advised Susan that, Susan, why don't you get a part-time job while you are waiting to get to this tech job? Because it was going to 3 months and no
4
other
months.
person was calling her, no other company was calling her. And I said to her, why don't you just, do part-time care work while you are waiting for this tech job? But I would applaud her resilience. Susan said, no, I must get into this tech. And that's how she got into a tech job. So I'll just give you another 1 minute before we go to the next question. Susan, carry on.
Oh, sorry. Okay. So when I just had that determination, I started attending for interviews. I could attend lots of interviews in a week. Even Judy would make her time, prep me for that, hold my hands, tell me this, okay. After they will come back and say, "Oh, Susan, sorry, we move on to another candidate." This, I said, "Okay, that's fine," but I said, "No way." So I now landed a job, a contract job. First one, I landed another contract job. That's yeah. No, first of all, I landed the job that I'm doing right now. So another job now came the same week. 2 jobs came at the same time. But I said,
Still
no,
the same tech job. Still the same tech job.
Yes, two
Oh.
came at the same time. 2 came
Wow.
at the same time. I have to choose the one I'm doing right now. So after that, the 2, because one was contract, I have to, it's a daily paid one, which the pay was okay, but I needed a permanent role. And this was a public sector where they can, give me what I'm looking for, because it's get me a sponsorship, because you need to, when you need to have a target of what you're actually looking for, because when you're looking for to get a sponsorship, a sponsored job, mainly look at the public sector. That's where they can easily give it to you. So, and I said to these people, no, I'm not going to come. I'm going for this permanent role that's going to sponsor me.
Do right now.
Yeah,
that's the one you currently do now.
Yeah. I even got another spot after that. In December, January again, I got another job in the same industry with sponsorship, with even
higher pay,
with lots of pay, with lots of benefit, with lots of
perks. Yeah,
a lot,
with plenty of pounds.
With
plenty of pounds. That's what we're saying, right?
I think
so
because
the end of it is, I think it was the part that you had to tell yourself that this tech thing, I must get it. If you don't push, that's tech for you. Because sometimes at some point you feel like giving up. Judy, I'm sure you've experienced that part where maybe sometimes you feel like, are you sure this is for me? I remember when I was starting, I didn't even have an idea about it.
I actually need to be a guest on this show to come and say my own story too.
Oh,
so
my
Tricia,
God. No, at some point
you're going to host
me.
So I was people asked me and said, Susan, what are you doing? I said, I'm in this, that's where I'm working. They said, no. He said, I work fully remote. I don't even go to my office. Everything from my house. I wake up from my bed, I go to my laptop, I do everything. When it was like people asked me, how do you do it? Because in this country, I won't lie to you, it's not easy to get a sponsored tech job. Nowhere. If we are 100, is 1 in 100 that gets that. I'll be honest with you.
Susan, can we go back to Bernard? Your story is so sweet and long. Let's go back to Bernard. I'm so excited and I'm interested in Bernard's story. Because, I think when I knew Bernard, I was thinking he was more of a fit-farm person.
Yeah, before we go on, I've got a question pinned on the screen which says, sorry, what is ISQB exam? I didn't get that. So ISTQB exam is a certification exam for software testers. So that's what Susan meant, the certification exam for software testers. So over to you, Tricia, carry on. Bernard, where are you?
Bernard, where are you? Please come and tell us that story.
He's hiding his face.
Bernard, we need you to come and tell us that story, because you stopped at the part where you had to start doing so many things, and I think your story is quite interesting. It's similar to mine.
It's very interesting.
Yes, quite interesting. I started learning on my own first. But I think the difference was that myself, when I had to switch, was okay. So I was trying to get in for my master's, and then what I wanted was not what they were giving me, and then they gave me this thing with analytics, and then there was a prerequisite for the courses I had to take. They said something about Python and data science, and then they referred me to University of Michigan to take, sorry, those courses. And then when I was doing it, I had to enroll to a private class. When the guy teaches me Python, I'm like, what is this guy saying? Is this person okay? What am I even saying? What is this code I am seeing on my system? So after the course, or after the prerequisite certification and all of that, I had to take my time. I said, okay, I'm interested in this. But then enough about me. Let's continue with you, Bernard. I like to hear your story. Go on.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, we've got a question pinned on the screen. Bernard, if you can see it, how can someone get started with tech from Nigeria before coming to the UK, if possible, with zero level knowledge? Now, Bernard, I'm going to throw that question to you. How can someone get started with tech from Nigeria? We're not talking about coming to the UK now. So how can you get started with tech? What is your advice? What advice would you give to the audience? How can they get started with tech?
All right, because when I saw the UK part, I was wondering. I was saying maybe that question would have been better if Susan is the one in UK, or you as well can answer that about the UK part. But in Nigeria, for instance, to get started in tech in Nigeria, the major things you need, first of all, is to have the best part. I always advise people to follow is to have a mentor,
Yeah.
because it's easier for you to go into tech when you have someone guiding you towards that axis. That's one thing I lacked when I started tech. And if I'm to redo it personally, I'll definitely have someone to tell me you're supposed to do this, do that, and do this, instead of just jumping here and there before you now actually start. So just the person you admire in the industry, look at people you admire in the industry, and then just if you want to be like that person or what the person has accomplished, just slide into their DMs or check the path they followed, because most people put their education, the courses they've taken, and the rest. You can either go through that path if they're not answering you, because many people are busy. So that is the path I would tell you to follow. That's the quickest way I know works. Having a mentor in the game is the best strategy.
You didn't add that getting a mentor can be very difficult, because when you write to people and tell them, we're just being honest, let's bear it all as it is. When you write to people and say, please, I would like you to mentor me, and then they don't respond to you, you'll be like, this person is snubbing me. But in real fact, they're trying to also upgrade themselves. Right, Bernard,
Okay.
you can tell. At least I know that when I linked up to you and I said, Bernard, I'm interested in this extension because I saw they were paying in dollars. You just sent it to me. You didn't even hold me by the hand.
You see that's another part. That's the thing. There are people that are specifically interested in mentorship. They have mentorship programs that they are ready to take care of people. There are those who are busy with their own personal life, trying to get better, like you said. So yes, it's always better to follow like their mentorship programs for data analysis or transition to tech academy, for instance. Now, if you meet someone like that, say, I want to have mentorship, transition to tech. Of course, that's a mentorship program. That is the business they're into. They'll handle it. But you can't meet someone that is busy working their own life and say, let them
Yeah.
start doing it for free.
True.
Unless the person already
Exactly.
likes it may work that way. Exactly. So that's it.
Yeah, and just
Okay,
to
so
add,
you can continue with your story. Judy, go on.
okay. No, Bernard, continue with your story. There's somebody saying Bernard should mentor them in Nigeria, or Bernard.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
I'm
think
actually
Bernard's
Bernard's
network is
PA. I'm Bernard's
mm,
PA, so you have to come through me. You have to come through me so that I. Oh, that's by the way.
Okay, and
That's
also
Tricia,
to answer
right?
that question about how you can get into tech
Transition.
from Nigeria, like Bernard has
Mm-hmm.
rightly said, you need to actually do trainings. Now, someone said to me, Judy, why do I need to pay you to do trainings? Because of course, when it was with Susan, I did it for Susan for free, but now I charge to train you and mentor you. Yeah, because I noticed that people don't, when things are free for people don't value it. Okay, so now you get training, you get trained, and people say, oh, there are free trainings on YouTube. YouTube is not going to tell you, it's not going to mentor you. So you need training plus mentorship. And of course, you can start from Nigeria. So anyone who is listening to me right here who wants to transition to any course in tech, it could be data analysis, software testing, project management, wherever you want to transition to, please do a training and get mentorship. Then afterwards, you can get remote jobs. Even while you're in Nigeria, you can get remote jobs where you can actually work remotely. And of course, if you have to relocate, you can try to apply for companies over here and see if they will give you a COS. Never say never. Just like Susan, Susan was so positive, very resilient in her positivity, and she was able to get a job. In fact, like she actually told us, two jobs who that gave her sponsorship. She got the sponsorship for two jobs, and she had to choose the one she wanted. So always remain positive. Whenever I have a student, I say to students, I said to my students, you have to believe that you will get a job. If you're coming with doubts that I'm not going to get a tech job, you will not get a tech job. Positivity is very, very important. That
True.
spirit of that mindset is very important, not even in trying to transition to tech, generally in life. Once you say, I cannot do something, you will never be able to do it. But this is not about me. This is about my lovely guest that I've brought all
Wait,
the
Bernard,
way.
I want to ask Bernard the question, please. Judy.
Yeah.
Bernard, so before you go on with the story,
Yeah.
right? Was there any point where you felt like, okay, this is getting a bit not like difficult, but then some days you wake up and then you feel, today I just don't feel like, or for now, let me just cool off a bit and then take some break and all, right? Now, before you said
Yes.
the whole the whole transitioning thing with from your masters and all, while you were probably in your microbiology era, you didn't think about it, right? That's where I'm going to. And then when you now started it, where
Not
the
at all.
question is now, did you at some point feel like giving up? Because at some point when I started, I told you when I was taking it as a prerequisite for one of my MSc courses, I felt like giving up. I gave up. In fact, for some days I'll be like, I don't feel like opening this laptop. So I want to hear that part. Can you hear me?
I think his connections is not. His connections is
I can
bad.
hear.
Okay. While you're trying to set your microphone, Benga is asking, please, must mentorship come with payment? So if you want to answer that also in the course of your response to the question I asked, you can go ahead and do that. Okay, I think we lost him there. So while we're waiting for him, so, Judy, go on with that question. The answer to it.
Okay, Susan, I'm going to throw that question to you. I know you're not into mentorship right now, but I'm throwing it to you. What do you think? Do you actually think that mentorship should come with payment or it should be free? Then I'll take it from my own side too.
I think it works two ways. One, if you're lucky, you could get someone who picked interest in you that wants to hold your hands and do it for you. But sometimes it's good to add a sacrifice to what you actually wanted. Sometimes it's really what it wasn't be the person mustn't even charge you like who maybe ripping you off your fortune or something. But sometimes if you're lucky, it works two ways. If you're lucky, you could get, and another thing, if it works, because me, I had Judy then. Apart from Judy, before even Judy started, and I had to pay another person else, someone else, to pay to do stuff. I have to pay. I had to even say,
Remember when
oh,
you paid
Susan.
that woman to do your CV and she did not even do
Yeah,
it?
do you know how many people I paid a lot to? You don't look, keep quiet or fold your hands. I say using word of mouth to look for something. No, in our language, they will tell you that you use money to pursue money. You don't. You mustn't spend your fortune to get what you want, but put in kind of the sacrifice to it, and also luckily you might get someone who might want to make out time for you and spoon feed you. And most times when we are spoon fed, you could along the line the person might get tired. But if you pay for it, the person will always be there for you because
Absolutely.
you're
I'm
receiving.
going to take it from you there, Susan. So I know of some people when I started my journey of having an academy, I was like, okay, let me do it for free. Susan was the only one that made use of that opportunity of that mentorship for free. So the other ones, till today, they don't have jobs. I spoke to one of them yesterday and she was like, oh, Judy, you left me and all of that. But you were not serious because you did not put money into it. I remember when I was doing when I was taking a course and all of that, I paid in thousands of pounds. And because I paid in thousands of pounds, I was like, man, my money cannot waste. I must get a job in tech. But imagine when you've gotten it for free, you have nothing to lose. So for someone who is saying, should we pay for mentorship? If you've got nothing to lose, you may not get what's it called? You may not make use of
The
it, right?
best.
Yes, you may not get the best out of it. So
Yeah.
on both ends, on the mentor's end, you've paid for the mentor's time, you've paid for the mentor's experience and all of that. The mentor has to deliver, and for your own end too, because you have done something, because you've paid out something from your pocket that has cost you. So I don't even believe in
You
cheap
take it
mentorship
serious.
because I just say, it's just £100. I beg. I'm not. I can let that money go. But if you pay the thousands of pounds, you must see the end of it. You must make sure you get the job. So at the end of the day, it also lies on you who is looking to transition. It's not a matter of how good the mentor is. So you may say this mentor is good. Some other person may say this mentor is not good. But it lies
True.
on you yourself to be able to make use of that mentorship program, paid or unpaid. It lies on you to be able to make something out of it. Someone has asked, Taiwo has asked here, how do we get mentorship? Because it is so difficult. Mentorship is not difficult. Look for, like Bernard said, you look at people. That's why we're on the social media platforms on LinkedIn. Look at someone you admire. You can walk up to the person and meet them and say, do I would like to be mentored. If the person is charging, the person is going to charge you. If the person is not charging, the person can decide to take you up if they have free time. I don't think it's so difficult. If you ask, you will receive. The Bible tells us that, right? So yeah. Bernard,
We
over
have
Oh,
to you.
sorry,
We'd
Bernard.
love to hear from you.
one more thing, just a few things.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
just want to advise people, just learn how to invest yourself. Invest in yourself, because I can remember vividly when I went to study this tech, my laptop was crap. I didn't even have a new laptop. Ask Judy, I have to go to a shop and pick up a laptop. I didn't even pay for it. I have to pick up one because my laptop doesn't even carry some of the things, some of the applications and things you need to download. The laptop um was very expensive, but I just went to a shop. I said, I don't have the money, just give me this laptop. But my first salary has to pay almost 10 times 3 or 4 of that laptop. So who is getting the laptop? Me? Who is just save some money, invest in
Invest in
yourself, and
yourself. Invest in yourself.
you're
That's
not
just
doing
it.
it for me. You're doing it for yourself.
Actually, yeah,
So
that's very.
Invest. Yeah, Bernard,
Bernard,
go ahead,
please.
please.
Sorry,
Because we
sorry,
Yeah,
have
I
sorry.
want to
10
say
minutes.
something here. But the truth is that what people always mess up is that, sorry, I had network issues, is that people love free things, but they don't value it. I like to say that a lot of times. They love free things, but they don't value it. If you've never taught anybody something for free, you may not understand what I'm saying now. Because I've tried to do this practically. And then once you're training people or helping them with something for free, they just take it for granted. That's just the truth of the matter. And I cannot tell you now for fact that I would want to mentor you for free. The truth is that I would give you tasks because there are two types of mentorship. One mentorship is that you already know something and you're trying to help this
Yeah.
mentor achieve certain tasks. So you are reducing load from him and gaining experience. That is a form of mentorship that they might do for free for you. But if you're trying to learn from scratch, you need
Right.
ultimate guidance. You don't know anything at all in this field, and you just need someone to guide you. Just like Susan said, honestly, you have to invest in yourself. Nobody's going to give you that knowledge for free because people have done it for free and they saw that it was not beneficial to themselves or to who they were mentoring. So I'll just say there are affordable mentors somewhere. But if you are meeting high people that are very deep in the game, of course they'll charge you exorbitantly, like Benga is saying now. But if you meet academies train you, of course, definitely you get normal fees. I'm sure Susan will mentor you and she will charge you normal.
Susan, are you
Yeah.
willing to mentor mentor
And,
Benga?
Benga, you can, yeah, I can mentor you, but it depends on what aspect you want me to, because there are two types of mentorship. One, there's training and someone to guide you,
Yeah.
also talk you through your interviews, maybe your CV or all that there. So it depends on actually what you wanted. So the person know if he or she have the capacity to deliver or to do that. So there are two different kinds of mentorship, whether you're going for a particular training for a course, or maybe you're looking for a job, how to navigate for your job. Maybe you're looking for how to present yourself in an interview, or your CV is this, or the person trying to talk you in. So it depends on the area you're looking for mentorship, because someone can mentor you to, if you're already in the field and say, oh, I'm looking for a job, but I need to upgrade to you to help me. I want to get this job. Or I want you to mentor me to get to training for software or business analysis or project management or this, because it depends on what you actually wanted.
Okay, so
All right. So
quickly,
yeah.
I think sorry, Judy. I think we'll just, because we have very little time before we allow guests to maybe ask their questions, but I think
Yeah.
we're already answering the questions. So Ben,
Mm.
I think we're actually having you tell us what actually kept you going. That's what I
Yeah.
want to know. What kept you going? And yeah.
Okay, yes, sorry for the network interruption. That was one of the perks of living in Nigeria. Sometimes it just happens. So, yeah, what really kept me going was the fact that I had seen people moving and people were making progress. One of the things that almost held me back during the process was me thinking that immediately you're done with your course, because I wanted to just have a package course from Google, from Coursera, to know that I have this course and then putting it out there on my LinkedIn. You know, when you hear of LinkedIn the first time, you think as soon as you land on the platform, they're just dashing you money or dashing you jobs or things of that nature. So it can get discouraging if that is how you want to do it. Because that was my own thought at first as well. But didn't really work like that. So it was after getting my mentorship, after getting a mentor, Professor Atuloma, one of my mentors, he's a he's in my field as well, into a statistician. So he guided me into a different path, and then I realized, okay, I was being called more into the field of training and teaching. So one of the things that really pushed me, and I've gotten, at first it was difficult, but until I got an internship with a company in the US, Reveroad, and then I also got another internship as well in Nigeria with Elite Global AI. That was a paid internship. The first internship I actually got that was paid. Then I started seeing that, okay, tech is, I can actually start getting paid by working in this field. But in the first time, I was almost giving up. And then the tool that what really helped me was finding out how data analysis relates to my field and niching myself down to focus on that particular part. Because it's a very broad field. Many people might be thinking that, okay, for me, I was thinking I just had to do the business part of it. But in a way, I had to think about it and say, how do I relate this to health? So that's why I saw healthcare data analysis. And I, the what broke the straw for me and everything that happened was when I held my first SPSS masterclass. One of the reasons why I say doing free things sometimes can be annoying was that interested participants in that course there were over 8,000 people that were interested in
Ooh.
taking the course. And I was like, because I have partnership with other training providers, different organizations. So we said, okay, we are putting out this SPSS simplified masterclass, and we put out the training there. Over 8,000 people showed interest, they registered. But during the live class now that we're supposed to have, only 2,000 people showed up on YouTube Live, because we had 2,000 people on YouTube Live, and I think 100 on Zoom, because I didn't even know my Zoom Pro had a limit of just 100, so I had to ship them to YouTube Live. And then we did all that, and then I realized, okay, I'm being called towards more of, yes, I'm in the tech side and I handle jobs for people here and there. But when you're becoming a bit expensive and many people cannot really pay for your contracts here and there, then I just realized, okay, teaching. And then I would say that making money in tech was what really kept me, or seeing the profits, or seeing that people that were getting money from it, they don't have two heads. It's just that you have to be a bit patient with the game. Sometimes it doesn't work as fast as you want it to work. That's what happened to me. I was overly in a hurry. I was thinking as soon as you get your certificate, it starts working. But it
You
didn't
start
happen that way.
earning.
You start earning rather, yes. But it
Yes.
didn't happen quickly for me. I had to be a bit patient, and then I would say that I have, yes, gotten something huge from from tech generally. So yes,
You have
that's
gotten
what
something huge because
Nothing
I'm a
huge.
testament to that. The last money you got shook your account.
I mean.
Yeah.
Okay, so sorry, Judy. Let me before we say okay, give us like a brief overview for people that are actually looking at transitioning, right? What would you advise anybody trying to transition? Because for the audience, I'm sure you can all hear me. It goes away from, or it goes beyond software testing, health analytics, or data analytics, or business analytics. You have other tech, whatever there. We have project management. We have a whole lot. So the fact that you're speaking or you're hearing these two persons speak doesn't mean these are the two core courses you should move into. You have to first find out also what you want to do. So but I'll just leave that to you to just advise the audience or advise people that are trying to transition. And then for people that probably want to relocate, for some people that would see themselves or find themselves relocating, what would you advise these people to do? What would you advise them to do before relocating? That would be to you, Susan, because you are actually the one over there. Then my Oga, the research man, when you're tutoring, because you're a tutor, when you teach, when you want to teach people, what do you advise people to do? Judy will give you that audience also because of transition to tech, so that you actually help people, guide them so that they don't make that mistake.
Yes. So the truth is, I can actually see a question here as well that's talking about is okay. That question is for the tech queen. But is he only in coding? No, of course not. He doesn't. I'm sure Judy will talk more about that later. But now, what I would say generally is, what do you want to do? Because first of all, you need to be sure of what you want to do. If you don't want to waste your degree, for instance, then you find a way that your degree relates to what you're doing. But if you don't care about that and you're like, let me just dump it and then just follow through, because I personally did not want to abandon what I had studied or gotten. That's why I still have to relate my tech field to health in a way. So I'm sure your field, you have some transferable knowledge in your field that you may want to apply to tech. And then you think about it and then you put it, just like you said, it's not only coding. There are web developers that don't even need coding. There are program managers that may not coding, all these other skills. So it's just for you to find a way. How I do it my own is to find a way to merge what I have studied already to tech, because there's always a relationship. Technology is in every field. How does it relate to your own field? And then find a way to merge it, and then you pick that field and then make sure you follow through with it. So that's okay. There's a question here as well from Chisom.
Sorry, Bernard, let me cut you short. Because,
Okay.
I studied financial management. So what I'm actually doing now is not related to it. This is what I spent time, years in doing. But what I'm actually doing now is not it's not financial management, but although they have the tech part in the finance industry, which is anyway
Fintech.
fine and good. So I'm trying to correct that even if you didn't do the degree course or whatever the level of education you have, it mustn't be in that it mustn't be in that degree field, because when it comes to tech, you can do, if you're serious with it, under 3 months and you're smart and you know how to do self-study. Most times your mentor will not tell you everything. You search for more information on the internet because you do sleep. Because sometimes then I was looking for a job, 3 o'clock, I'm still awake in the internet, searching for, doing some my self-training on YouTube's, because YouTube was my bedrock then. I don't sleep because I just like, why am I sleeping for? Why people go to job and come back, I'm not doing anything, I'm just here studying and all that. But it's not paying me because I can't even stay awake right now for that kind of stuff now. Even if I'm given a job to do in the office, highest 30 minutes or 40 minutes, I'm done with that. So it's kind of work you put into, maybe even if it's software or business analysis, if you're smart and you've gone into the four walls of education, even if it's not university level, and you put in your mind, only 3 months, to be quite honest with you, is enough with constant reading. As Judy,
I beg to
constant.
3 months is not enough. You people should stop selling this thing to audience.
No.
I always say, no, let me tell you something. Bernard, you're there.
If
at
you're
least
smart, if you're educated,
right? Susan,
yeah.
Correct me, Bernard. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. Judy and Susan, look at it. Susan, in all honesty, did you learn software testing within 3 months? Let us sell this thing to people the way it is.
No,
wait, sorry, because sorry,
one
minute, because ask Judy, when we went for training on that, where we did our training, how many days how many weeks did they teach us manual testing? Just ask
That's
her.
what I was actually going towards that direction, right?
That is why the main work starts they taught us like 1 week. Ask her what they did. They just did 1 or 2 and said manual. I asked her.
Okay, what I meant was,
is it finished?
The training, you as yourself, you now training yourself, right? For a data analyst is not enough. Can you even finish?
Wait, hold on.
The truth of the matter is that coming up
get the basics. Hold on, sorry. The truth of the matter is that to get the basics and to understand what you need to do.
Okay.
In 3 months is enough to understand what you need to do. But
that means enough to get you a job. That's what I was going to say.
Not enough to become an expert.
Enough to get you a job. So, like Susan actually says, Susan rightly said, if you're smart, within 3 months, you should know enough to land you a job. Now, most of the time, you learn on the job. Even if you have 20 years experience and you get a new job, you will still
they'll still train you. They'll still train you.
Island of knowledge. So 3 months is enough to land you a job.
Yeah, but it's not enough for you to have an in-depth tool. Okay. I want better. Please tell me. 3 months is enough to have basic knowledge in data analysis.
Yes.
So
let's say that.
Any
data analyst will tell you 3 months.
Don't drag it too long. I told you that. So remember, I said hard work, YouTube, many source, ChatGPT is there.
Mentorship.
Okay, mentorship even makes it faster because Judy was there. She mentored me even after that because she was into the job already.
Have a mentor.
So I was.
Susan would actually physically come to my house and sit with me. Now, a lot of people may not have that opportunity.
Give you realistic and Nigerian point of view. Realistic and Nigerian point of view. Yes. 3 months, like earlier stated, and Tricia has agreed that you get the basic understanding. What you can get in Nigeria with 3 months knowledge, it may be an internship position. But for you to say you want to land a real-time data analytics job,
a software tester,
a real data analytics job, nobody is going to hire you. They're always asking the years of experience that is always required. You need to have done an internship here and there, and all those things accumulating is already landing towards 6 months. So 5 months, 6 months, yes. But 3 months.
No, please.
That's the mentorship comes in.
Take it from the tech queen. The tech queen that is telling you now. Yeah, there are some things that we may not be able to discuss here. But take it from the tech queen. 3 months is enough to land you a job. So that is where we're just going to leave it. We're talking about, and that is why Judy is a tech queen. So 3 months, if you come under my mentorship, 3 months, be it wherever you are. I'm not saying this because I'm trying to sell a course to you. I'm not even selling a course. I'm not selling transition to tech to anyone here. We're just discussing how you can actually, how people have actually been able to transition. So for some people, it may be longer than 3 months. Some people, it may be 6 months. Some people,
it depends on your knowledge, the way you grasp things, though.
Yeah, it's the way you grasp things.
Your assimilation.
Her first job, in her first interview, the only thing is that some managers are from hell. Sorry to say, some managers are from hell. No matter how good you are, and yes, she actually told you a story. She actually lost that job. That training was enough to land her that first job.
Outliers.
I want to hear that part. I want to hear that part. As data analyst,
that's what we call outliers. Those are
It's
outliers.
called what?
Those are the outliers.
Okay.
Okay.
Break
Yes.
it down for us. We are not talking anything
All
tech
right.
here. We
The
are talking in plain language. What is
all
outliers?
right. So there's in statistics, there's something we call normal distribution.
Yes. Go on.
Okay, you can still hear me. There's what we call normal distribution. So in normal distribution, it's a curve that looks like a bell, and then most people are gathered in the middle. That is what we call the normal thing and what happens in the normal. But still in that bell, there's a part of people that are in the extreme end. Those are what we call the outliers. So that's just breaking it down that just like you rightly said, there are people that it can be 2 months, even 1 month, you get it done. But when we're talking about the normal distribution and people in the middle, how it happens for most people in the field, I guess that's the angle that Tricia is coming from and saying that for most people,
I'm not speaking from my own view, right? I'm speaking from people that are probably trying to. Right now, we know how people struggle with whatever work they are doing, and then trying to learn.
So sorry to interrupt you again, Tricia. Are you saying that 3 months is not enough for you to learn enough, or what we're saying is that you may do a training, maybe the training is going to last you for 8 weeks, 12 weeks, 3 months, but you may now go on to look for a job for another 3 months or another maybe 6 months before you actually land your first job. Is that the point of view you're coming from, or you're saying
Yes,
3
that's
months
the
is
point
not
of
enough
view
for
I'm
you?
coming from. Yeah,
Okay, yes. If it's that, I agree with you.
Yeah.
So you may do a training. You may go for interviews. You may go for 100
Yeah, you
interviews
might
before
not
you
get
actually
there.
land your first job. I totally
Exactly.
agree with you. But 3
Yes,
months
because some
is
people
enough
come
for
with
you
this
to
notion
learn
of after
enough.
my training, I'll get it immediately. So
No,
you have
no,
to.
no, 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 no. Everybody's case
No,
is different.
no,
That's the thing.
no. Yeah, yeah.
So Judy, you want to look out for
Actually,
questions?
yeah. So audience, please, questions. If you've got questions, please
Okay, someone
ask
is
the
saying learning
questions.
is continuous. Okay,
Yes.
exactly. Learning is continuous because even while you're on the job,
Even
you
with,
keep
okay, now
learning.
let me give you a story of a colleague, a friend's colleague. Now, this friend's colleague claimed he had 19 years experience as a software tester, right? He came on the job, and I don't know if anybody knows Jira software,
Yeah.
Jira tool, the project management tool.
Yeah,
Someone with 19 years experience didn't have Jira experience. So what are you saying? It's a continuous learning process. I may go to another company now. They're using an entirely different tool from what I'm
Asana.
used to.
You can use
Yes,
Asana.
they will train
Asana
you.
or Azure.
Yes, I don't know Asana. I don't know that. So I have got my years of experience, but I'm going to another company, another organization. I may not know that. So you cannot
That's true.
say for that you are going to learn everything. No, you cannot learn everything in 3 months. But 3 months is enough for you to actually land the job. Now, for data analysis, I'm sure you'll be able to do the basics, Excel,
Yeah.
maybe Python, SQL, and all of that within 3 months. But if you have to go a little bit further, Power BI, Tableau, and all of that, it may take you more
Yes.
than 3 months, which you can learn on
True.
the job. So of course, we all know how job interviews go. We all know CVs, how CVs go. If you're really interested in landing a job, I don't know, are there any, are my bosses here, are my managers here? But if you're actually serious about landing a job, you may need to pad your CV. Let's call it spade a spade. You may need to pad your CV, and when you
You need
get
to
on the
sell
job,
yourself.
yes, you sell yourself in interviews. When you get the job,
Yeah.
you actually will have to put in more effort to be able to prove yourself. So we should not go with
Sorry,
the notion of
Judy.
3 months.
Sorry, Judy. I don't know how it works in Nigeria when you attend for interviews, but here
Yeah,
sometimes they're kind of emotional. That they if they feel they can work with you, that's how it works here. If they look at you, whether you pass or you answer all the questions or not, you mustn't answer all the questions. Once they feel they can work with you,
they
that's it.
can work
They
with
don't
you.
even
That's it.
yeah,
So
that's how they do here. But I don't
so
know
three
about
months is
Nigeria.
actually enough to land you a job. Take it from me, the tech queen. I'm the
Take
one
it
saying
from
it. I
the
don't
tech
stamp out.
queen.
The tech queen has spoken.
So,
No, no, no
oh,
more
someone
argument.
said he's a manager because so hey.
Okay, do we have any question before we round
Oh
up?
my goodness. Yes. So please, questions. We've got 20 minutes to the end of this program. It's been lovely having these people. I've not even been able to exhaust all the questions I've got here. So, but it's been lovely. And I want my audience to be able to ask as many questions as possible. But while we're waiting for the audience, I'm trying to scroll through the comment section to see if there are any questions. Okay. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I can see some discussions. It's not really a question. Benga has said that's not the case in Nigeria. Nigeria people want you to know everything before you actually are able to land a
in
job.
Nigeria, they are
I
doing
can
you
say
people
for
wicked.
no, to be honest, yeah, I think in the in the employment market in Nigeria, yes, it is a bit more stringent than the way it is over here in the UK. So Nigeria people, they want you to know heaven and earth.
They want to
You are
stop
just
your blood
you are
in
just
Nigeria.
graduated. They want you to have 10 years experience. How are you going to get that? They're not ready to train you and all of that. But why are we going into tech? We're going into tech because we want to get remote jobs. Remote jobs are possible from anywhere in the world. Even if you're in Nigeria, you can actually get a remote job. So do not restrict yourself to just Nigeria. Even though you live in Nigeria, you have to go global. All right. Okay. So Ugo Chukwu has said CB Paddy is all right. Ugo Chukwu is actually our Ugo Chukwu is known on LinkedIn as the, correct me if I'm wrong, Ugo Chukwu, but you are like a life coach that helps people with CVs and help people with job interviews and all of that. So Ugo Chukwu is laughing that CV padding is not good, but we all know that once in a while it's called packaging. Yeah. So,
here. People will tell you Oyibo that white people do this. Let me just put Oyibo. I don't want to like when they want to sell themselves here. You yourself, you will be convinced that this is when you get inside that you will know that this is all packaging. And if you don't do that, to be quite honest, I think you're not going anywhere. To be here, if you don't do that, because themselves, they're even the ones that taught us how to do that.
Judy.
Yeah.
No, don't worry, Susan. Go ahead. Judy understands.
My mama here has said Nigeria employment sector, they are blood suckers. They are ready to suck your blood. So I cannot answer for that one. But yeah, Godson here has said you must know everything. If you are in Nigeria
that's not
and you
how
want to get a job, they are not looking for basic knowledge. They are looking
Godson
for
is actually
everything.
my collaborator. Godson is my collaborator. He
really?
shines.
Hi,
He's my collaborator. And he's actually very good with. He's just like another friend to me.
Okay, so while there are not much questions, so I want us to be able to leave with something. So, Susan, first of all, what would you want our audience to leave with? Just round up summary of everything. What do you want them to leave with?
Well, I'll advise anyone, anything you want in this life, whether it's a job in the tech, anything is doable, is possible. Because if there are some things we limit ourselves and say, when you have a fall the first time, second one, say, what am I doing this for? Why am I wasting my time? It's not going to work. And that's it. And you give up. But you have to have a thick skin. You have to stand that I must get it. What encouraged me most is that I always speak to myself. Even when 100 people say no to me, maybe the 101 person can say yes to me. Everybody must not say no to you. Somebody must say, okay, let's give her a try. Let's try her. And that's how it works in life. It's a numbers game. You have to keep applying, keep pushing, no matter what you're looking for. Because my story is something when people hear, they say, even I see most of my colleagues that before I knew Judy, that I saw many of them today when I went for shopping. They were like, Susan, where have you been? This, that. I told them what I'm doing now. They was like, ooh, because I told myself, because I was not happy with what I was doing then. I was like, I was not proud of myself. And anything you are not happy doing, my dear, look for a way out. Yes, look for a way out. Every day I keep complaining. My brother will say, every day she comes back, she'll be murmuring or whinging over one thing or the other. But now I can just say I'm fulfilled with my career, I'm not at the peak of it yet, but at least when I look back from where I'm coming from the everything, I'll just say, yes, there is progress. Because with me here, at least I know that people have impacted their lives through, especially my family, brought my sister here, also bringing another person here in the next few weeks. So it's doable. Don't give up on your dream, and also pray. It's not about do you can only do what you can, but I think put yourself out there and also pad it up with prayers, and it depends on your level of even if you don't even pray, there is a will spirit in you that says I can do this. So everybody must not be a prayer or prayer warrior or something, but there is a
But you just
spirit
have
that
to
speaks
pray.
to you. Yeah, yeah. But for me, I think
I'm
prayer
all for
works.
prayer. I'm all for prayer.
I feel
Yes, so
me
I'm all
for
for
me
prayer.
because
I
everybody
won't
must
tell you
not be a
don't pray.
Christian, because some people Muslims
Pray
or
to
anything.
whatever
But for
you
me,
believe in.
yeah, for me, I'm a prayer. I think prayer has brought me a long way here, achieving what I've done. Watch everything. Judy has been in my story. Everybody see me say, "Oh, Susan, you've done well for yourself. You've done this." It's not that it's really too much hard work. You mustn't do too much hard work to get there, but grace also works, speaks, and also speak to yourself. So that's all I have to say. And also connection, link
Connection.
with
Yeah.
like minds, link with like minds. Don't you want to go into tech, you will just be friending only people that are always doing another thing that is not in line with what they're doing. So I don't know how you're
Yeah.
going to fit in. So even I'm not saying you shouldn't go with them, but look for one or two, make friends with. I'm not saying you should discard all your friends out there, but look for a mentor, like Bernard said, who will carry you. Even if they are running, keep chasing them. Even if you'll be the one calling them, because you need something
Chase
from
them.
them. Even if they are keep bombarding them with, how Judy,
Keep
Judy, I
chasing
call her
Bernard and
like,
Susan
even
and
before
chase
then,
Judy.
I call Judy as my own husband. Judy will say, eh, as if even the way we talk, people will
And that
say,
is how
these two
Judy
people.
takes me as her husband because she's always on the phone with me. Like
Please, oh,
everybody in the house knows
She will give
Judy.
you
my
this thing.
husband is on
Judy
this
does not
solo.
run
I'm not
errands.
married to.
Another thing is look for a confidence. Look for someone who will encourage you, even when you fail. Because I can remember when I lost my job, Judy was like, Susan, don't worry, don't worry. But the highest encouragement can come from you yourself. Because the Bible says David encouraged himself in the Lord. So you have to encourage yourself in the Lord. Even if then they're saying, no, 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 no. He said, I must get there, whether they like it or not. I don't care where it's going to come from. And that's me here. Even jobs were just coming out. It's just now I'm no longer like interested in looking for jobs because of I just want to study up one or two. But when I'm ready out there to say, oh, I'm tired of this one, I want to get to another one, I'll start putting up paper there. And when I start putting up with the help of Judy, Judy will always hold my hand because I call her almost
Susan.
every day.
Let's allow
Sorry.
Bernard. We could go on
All
and
right,
on with
Bernard
Susan.
talk.
Susan,
Sorry.
please, Bernard.
Thank you everyone for making out time, but I'm encouraging you guys, keep pushing.
Reach out to Susan.
Keep
Send her a
pushing.
DM on LinkedIn if you want to speak to her.
Yeah, it's
So
Susan Obasi.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah. Please, you can type it. I don't know why I'm unable to type here, Tricia. So you can just type
Susan Obasi.
the link
Yeah,
to her
I'm typing it on
Twitter
the
in
live.
case. Yeah.
Mm.
Bernard, one last word from you for our audience.
All right. So Susan has summarized almost everything that needs to be said. The only thing I'm going to emphasize on is two things basically. First is that domain knowledge is a plus to you. What do I mean by that? The first is that whatever field you are currently in, yes, Susan has said it doesn't matter, but the truth of the matter as well is, sorry, excuse me, truth of the matter is, if you're changing field, you may need to work times two to get that thing that you require. But if you're already in your field, because for instance, if AI, if you're feeling that your field is threatened by AI, for example, it means that you're already in tech in a way, because AI is technology. Now, what that means is there's a way for you to implement your domain knowledge into your field. Somebody also asked, how do you get into tech when you're in the health sector? Tech is already health, must use tech. So there are so many ways you can do that. Yes. So I would just like people to understand that whatever field you are currently in now, it's not far from the tech that you're thinking about. So it can always be merged in a way, or if you feel like that, if you feel like shifting towards a different axis, then just understand that you may need to work harder than usual. But if you just want to work tech, then please pick a domain that you already understand. I picked health because I'm already in the health sector and I understand health related topics. So that's my own advice. And from mentors as well that I've gotten, as well, different mentors have spoken, people that have switched from maybe computer science to finance, fintech, they will always tell you that there's so much to learn in the financial sector. There are some terms and some terminologies that they'll start telling you this and that, and you start getting confused when you talk about rate, ratio, this, you just get confused. So just pick the one that you think relates to your field in a way, and then it will be a lot easier for you, and you can do it in a very short time. So that's
Okay.
final word.
Yeah, so
A
Dennis
word
has
from
asked for Mr.
Judy.
Bernard's LinkedIn. His name is pinned on the screen here. You can search for him on LinkedIn, Bernard, and you can always connect with him.
Thank you.
Someone did ask a question. I think Chisom asked the question of is transition to tech just about coding? No, it's not only about coding. In fact, tech courses are not about coding only. So we have loads of tech courses that require no coding. Business analysis is one of them. You don't need to know any single line of code. Manual software
Project
testing is one of
management,
them. Project management, product owner,
product design,
Scrum
product
master.
Scrum
management.
Master.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're
Scrum
all
master,
tech careers that
PMO.
require no
PMO.
single line of code. Juliet did say here that the problem is that some people have different working experience and trying to switch to tech can be challenging. So that is what Mr. Bernard has always said. He has said that you can always switch. So we got what we call transferable knowledge. So what have you been doing? You have been an event planner. You have been planning events and all of that. You can always use that knowledge, that experience as an event planner and use it for
and do
project management.
Yes.
So you can always use those experiences you've had. There's sometimes I even make joke that, oh, you have been the firstborn of the family. You have been the one arranging your younger siblings and all of that. That
It's
experience in
projects.
itself, you can use it as a project management, as a project manager. So you look within yourself. There are some soft skills that you've got. You don't need to have all the many skills and all of that. You can have some soft skills. Maybe your skills, you just take a deeper look at things. You are always critical thinking. Those are the kind of skills you need for software testing. Analytical thinking, you need those type of skills for software testing. So there are some soft skills that you've got as a person that you can use as transferable skills to even tech. So you don't necessarily need to have experience in tech or maybe read a tech course in a university or something like that.
Yeah.
You can use your transferable skills and experience to be able to pivot into tech. Yes, so that is it from me. Thank you all my lovely guests. Susan, I love your story. It's inspirational. Bernard, your story is also very inspirational. I love it. And I'm sure if I call you another time, like we all know, this is our first time hosting this, yeah. And you can see
We're going to
we
bring juicy people for you people to hear undiluted gist.
undiluted gist for real. So yeah,
Gist. And
we will
on
be
one of those
bringing
occasions,
you
I'm going
again.
to tell Judy to tell you people some of our backdrop stories. Judy has a lot of stories. Those ones are behind the scenes of some of the things. Funnily, one thing about Judy and I is that I think we've had similar experiences from our places of work outside the care thing, from the time of telecoms and then. But we'll talk about it maybe in between our conversation. Okay, someone is asking for Mr. Bernard's LinkedIn. I need to know how I can transition with an MPH. That's I'm guessing that's what's that? Okay, I think he's into health. Yeah. Okay, I dropped his LinkedIn name. Ben, do you want to do that?
Oh, I'm gonna pin it
The
again.
name is Bernard.
Bernard.
Oh, I don't know how. Maybe I should have changed. I should have added my surname to this. This
I
might be
think I
very.
just did. Check it on the stop. I think I did.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
showing
so
already.
really one last word for our audience because before I close this live, because we said we're not going to go beyond 1 hour 30 minutes. So anything
Yeah.
else you want to tell our audience?
Okay, so first of all, lovely audience, you've all made it worthwhile coming here. I love your energy. I love all the questions you threw our ways, and you actually brought us out of our shells. And yeah, thank you very much for attending. And I would like to say to anyone trying to transition into tech, not even trying to transition into tech, trying to go into something new, always have a mindset of I can do it. Once you have that mindset of I can do it, the rest is just is going to fall into place. So please always have that mindset. Be it you trying to transition into tech, be it you trying to do something new. This is 2024. I'm sure we all had goals for 2024. 2025 is a new year. I'm sure we're going to have new goals for 2025. Whatever you're trying to do, have that mindset that I can do it. Once you have that mindset, you are going to definitely do it. So please, that is my advice for everyone. Be resilient, find a good mentor. Even if you don't have a mentor, try to encourage yourself. You can also encourage yourself to be able to get to that level. But a mentor just makes it a lot easier. So whether it's a paid mentor or it's a free mentor, whatever mentor you're able to get, try to get that mentor in your corner and try to make that leap into whatever you're trying to do. That's it for me.
Okay, so from my end, I think what our advice is, if you are transitioning or if you've just transitioned, try not to walk alone. Try not to walk alone, because there are days that it will be very discouraging. You feel like you don't want to go. You feel like you can't do this. I for one, I have few people I work behind the scene with. I've seen Juliet on this call. I've seen Meg. I've seen Godson. I've seen Olabisi. These are people I work with on projects. So if you're transitioning, because sometimes you feel like giving up, you feel like giving up. There are days like that. Just try and have a community. If you don't, even if you don't have a mentor yet, just have a community you belong to. So this will actually help you. So this is your co-host Tricia. It's so good to have all of you here. I enjoyed this time, and I can't wait to see you people in our next series. So from this end,
Yeah,
is bye
our
bye
next
from
series,
me.
we are going to be bringing two people who have successfully transitioned again. So it's going to be a different story. Susan's story was coming from Nigeria with no direction, but just hearing the voice of God to say, come to the UK, and look at her flourishing in her career. Bernard had his own inspiration to be able to transition, and look at him flourishing in his career. So we're going to bring two different people with two different stories. We don't know what their stories are going to be. So please, in another 2 weeks, we'll be hosting another event like this. Please take out the time to join us. You never can tell. You will learn something new from me. And yes, I would like to say, I was going to say something. Yes, before we go, one quick one. Your why is very important. Why are you transitioning? Why are you taking the leap? Very, very important. So for everyone here, please write out your why. WHY. Why do I want to do this?
For
When you
money,
have your
money,
why
extra money,
listed, extra money. Yeah,
extra money. Don't be ashamed to
extra
say you
money.
want
For
extra
me, my
money.
why was not extra money. To be very
No,
honest,
I'm
my
saying
why
for
was
other
not
people,
heavy.
they shouldn't be afraid to say extra money.
Oh
There are people that
yes,
said because of the money they want.
yes. So your
Mm-hmm.
why would actually propel you. My why was I want to. I don't want to do care anymore. I want to be able to do something that I'll be proud of. And my children will be able to look at me and be proud of me. And my dad, my late dad always said, you cannot give what you don't have.
Don't
So if
have.
I didn't have that in me, how would I advise my children on career paths? You get, I was working in care and I saw someone who was advising her children to go into care because that is what she knew. So I wanted to break out of that so that I'll be able to give my children the best advice. And that was my why. And yes, I've achieved my why and all of that, and I'll be able to, guide my children. So always write out your why. Why are you transitioning? Why are you doing this? Whatever you're doing, have that why, and it will guide you through. That is it from me. Over to you, Tricia.
Okay. From this end, it is bye-bye. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys again in our next series. Bye.
Bye,
Bye,
everyone. Thank
everyone. Have
you.
a nice day.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.